And the second author from Toronto. What university was that? He is called Roger L. Martins, correct? And both of them took their time to script this book called Playing to Win. It's been quite insightful, like I said, and we've gone through all the chapters, starting from the introduction, which I took, introduction and chapter one myself, and then Lab took how strategy really works, what strategy is and what it is not. Strategy is a choice, which is chapter one. We went through it, going to what is winning, where to play. We looked at some frameworks, how to win, and then playing to your strength, which we took yesterday, and chapter 6, which was anchored by our president from Canada, Manage What Matters. And I had to go back into the YouTube to look at the framework, and I saw all those, diagrammatic, pictorial framework that was shared by him, and lovely slides, I must say. I listened to it this morning. Today, we're going to be listening to David. Unfortunately, three of our presenters are not available, and David is standing in for them. We're going to be listening to David present chapter 7, 8, and of course the conclusion. The rest of us will pitch in at some point, to really highlight the key takeaway from this book. Think Through Strategy is chapter 7. Shutting Your Odds is chapter 8. And of course, the conclusion is the endless pursuit of winning. I would love to hand over the mic and leave the room to our excellent BRG technical support, David Ekwese, who is going to be rounding up this book. Quite a very heavy responsibility, I must say, on such short notice. But yeah, a lot of us backed out on him. And well, David, pull your strength, man. Play to your strength, of course. Yeah?
All right. Thank you very much
You're welcome. Thank you
for
so very much for
that
taking over
introduction.
this. Yeah.
All right. I'll just go straight into the chapter we have here for today, which is chapter 7, Thinking Through Strategy. And I'm just going to go briefly on it so that we can look at other chapters also on time. Permit me, let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. All right. So chapter 7 is titled Thinking Through Strategy. And we'll just be looking at, some areas that we need to focus on and, things that, are of key importance, right, when making some decisions, right? So, I have to use my mouse. Okay. According to the book, right, of chapter 7, this part serves as a practical guide to, for cultivating superior strategic thinking and moving beyond just the data, right? But making, making enough choices, right? And, for a better word, right, there was a draft of a coherent narrative, which is one they highlighted that strategy is not just initiative, but is linked to choices, and clarity is also key. So when we say it's not just initiative, a true strategy isn't just lengthy plan with budget and all those things, right? It's tightly woven into logical narrative, and it's also linked into choices, right? It integrates, 5 crucial choices, which is the winning aspiration, where you need to play, how you need to win, and the things that are required for your capabilities, and also the support systems that you need as well. And clarity is key, meaning that, if you cannot articulate this story with simplicity and coherence, you possess activities, not a genuine strategy, because you just be moving around the circles and there's nothing being done, right? And also we are going to talk, it also highlights, prioritizing choices over analysis, right? Since the beginning of the book, we've been talking about choices, decision making, planning, right, and all those things, right? The conventional corporate approach often involve excessive data collection and model building, hoping to discover the right answer within spreadsheets. However, a more effective method involves framing real choice first. And one of the first choices, one of the first step is frame the choice. This is done by clearly defining the strategic dilemma, such as navigating between your current market and also the new segment you are about to dive into. Secondly is to generate possibilities, and also thirdly is to also get informed with analysis, meaning that we need to also utilize analysis to inform these choices rather than to allow it to become a substitute for a decision. Analysis supports strategy, and it doesn't just replace it alone, right? And also we're looking at embracing multiple possibilities. So we are when you have multiple responsibilities, right? You are given a lot of options, right? And this is just an example saying option A clearly defines where to play and how to win elements. And option B is to say, okay, detail the requirements, capabilities, and systems for this approach. And option C, the objective is also to compare the current alternatives and not to defend a predetermined choices, right? And we move to the magical question, which is what would you have to be true? Or what would have to be true, right? This is a question that one needs to ask themselves within their teams or within their organization, right? This concept, is arguably the most important or a most potent insight from the chapter. And this, rather than asking, is this strategy right? It prompts more profound inquiry to say that, oh, what would have to be true for this strategy to be great choice, right? We've seen a lot of options, we've made the right choices, but what will now have to be true, we need to tell ourselves. And we are highlighting the first part here saying uh revealing our assumptions, right? For each strategy options assumes if for each strategic options assume its potential brilliance, systematically list the condition that would need to hold true for its success. Example conditions also. This could include customer willingness to pay for specific value, competitors' inabilities to replicate certain advantages, or feasibility of building critical capabilities within a set time frame. And beyond the opinion, this process also shifts decisions from subjective opinions to concrete examination of underlying assumptions. And here we look at the transforming assumptions into actionable tests. And they're broken it down into three parts, which is one, identify shared assumptions. This pinpoints this pinpoint which assumptions are common across various strategic options. And secondly, isolate critical differences, which is to help us to determine which assumptions are unique, critical, and carry the most risk. And the thirdly is to, design a rapid test, develop a quick, efficient method to test the riskiest, in their own words, assumptions, such as small pilots or customer reviews. And also we look at the nature of effective strategic test. Why is it also very important in the process of thinking through strategy? Is that one, it helps small scale pilots. Launching limited initiatives to observe real world outcomes, customer interviews, right? Engaging direct Engaging directly with target audience to validate needs and preferences. This is the most, process of you testing your product or services. Simple financial scenarios, modeling potential outcomes under different market conditions, benchmarking as well, which is learning from the success and failures of others also, of other organizations as well. Market research, which is very important. Deep diving into existing data and trends to refine understanding. And also we look at the A and B testing, which is commonly used in the marketing field, which is saying comparing different approach to specific elements of the strategy. So this approach, in all, right, it facilitates informed betting, right? Betting is like informed risks that you're about to take, and also significantly shortening the odds of strategic choices, or I mean strategic success rather. And we look at the hallmark of robust strategic thinking, and they are mapped into 5 parts, which is one, making real choices. They explicitly commit to certain parts while consciously rejecting others. And that's the process when you're thinking through, like there are some things that you have obviously let go, and there are some things that you have to actually focus on. And integrated elements, right? They understand how aspiration where they understand our aspiration, where to play, how to win, and capabilities and system interlinks. Also explore possibilities. They resist they resist jumping to a single solution, instead considering multiple alternatives. And fourthly, name assumptions. They bring hidden beliefs and hypotheses into open discussion. And fifth is to see that experiment consciously. They prioritize rapid learning over waiting for absolute certainty. And lastly, we look at the creative reasoning under uncertainty. So ultimately, strategy is not merely an annual planning ritual. It's a dynamic process of creative reasoning conducted amidst inherent uncertainties, and it requires agility, insight, and willingness to test and adapt in all. So, right, when we think into strategy, we need to also think of, okay, when we make these decisions, right, how then do we now believe that the choices we've made are actually true, and how then we now move it to testing, and we see the different options of or we see the different needs, or why testing is also very effective. And so I think this slide ends here for thinking through strategy. Yeah. Okay.
David, beautifully done. Would you like us to comment before you move to the next?
Okay. If there's any comments, right, we can just have
We
like
can
two
take it,
or three
right? So that
minutes.
we break it. Okay, beautiful presentation, and I love the color choice. In fact, if you notice, I was leaning towards the presentation, and my gaze was really on the presentation. Thank you very much for that very smart summary. So for me, my key takeaway was something that hits me the most in the course of your presentation, although I wanted to ask you a question with respect to one of the slides that you presented, which talked about prioritizing choices over analysis. And I'm wondering, and I think you did give some highlights to the question, but I was wondering, how do you prioritize choices over analysis? You should have a deep analysis first before you can make your choices, right? Are you with me on that? Or will anybody want to comment on that? David?
So you said, sorry,
So you said prioritizing choice over analysis. I don't know if you need to prioritize choices over analysis, because I feel that there must be a sequence, right? So you have to analyze all your choices before you can make a decision on which is best. So without analysis, how do you get to the point of making choice? You can't jump into making a choice without analyzing the variables that are available to you under any circumstance or scenario. Yeah.
Yes. I get what you're saying actually, but I think they're also trying to debunk the fact that business owners or organizations shouldn't just dwell alone in the analysis as well. But again, beyond the spreadsheets, beyond the plan, beyond whatsoever strategic deck or strategic whatever data they might have come up with, right? Uh, the right decision that is clear to them, right, and not just uh the whole grammar and whatever things that might mean to them, right? Just beyond those things, right? Those are the
Okay.
things that clearly help them make the right decisions. So I think that is what the author is trying to clarify. Yeah.
Okay. And very great presentation, like I said earlier. And my major takeaway from this presentation, what stood out for me was the fact that when you were talking about strategy, you said what will have to be true for this strategy to be a great choice. And I think that is like working backwards, right? Because it's good when you are trying to make a choice. So if I look at my clientele, for instance, for me to be able to win a certain level of clientele, what will have to be true? A lot of condition will have to be true, right? So, for instance, um, our meet and greet, the way we receive clients is, needs to be very amiable. Customers need to feel safe and at home. I'm just giving some examples, right? Your product have to be of great quality, and all of that. For you to be able to convert a particular client, right? So I think this for me is a major key takeaway from this particular chapter. So it's like thinking backwards and making sure that you can, um, close all the puzzles, have the right, you know, framework, and then go for it, go for your strategy, because now you now know that, okay, if I do this and this is true, I would have this result, right? If I do this and this is true, I will have
Mhm.
this result. So this is my major takeaway from the chapter you just presented. Please, I need everybody to give David his flowers as always. Um, David, beautifully done. Nice presentation. The tone, the look and feel of your presentation, really great. Any other input on this chapter? Or should we allow him present? Any other input on think through strategy? Am I the only one here? Nobody's talking. Okay. Dr. Moraya has given you lots and lots of flowers, including a star, mushroom. Nice. Very nice. Okay, David, I think you can present the next one.
Okay.
And then you have to cut soap for some of us after this presentation. Nice tone.
Okay, so for chapter 8, which is shorten your odds, and is also a process for making decisive strategic choices in the face of uncertainty. And I'll just try to make it simple and make it straightforward because of our time as well. Again, we are still reading Playing to Win, and this is chapter 8 of the book. And let's go quick in. So strategy, as we say, The strategy room can feel, like a lost fog. We've all also been there, right? Where, sometimes there are endless debates, back and forth, analysis, paralysis from conflicting data, and a separate seated, fear of making the wrong multi-million dollar bets, right? You don't want to bet on something and then lose it. So sometimes it could always feel like that when you're trying to make decisions, right? Okay, I'm coming. So, and just looking at the fog, how the crossroad is, you're trying to know, okay, where should I move to? Where are we heading to in the next 5 years? Where are we heading to in the next 10 years? And we arrived at that crossroad of, credible and conflicting options. And the team split, and some are saying, oh, let's choose I mean, yesterday we talked about the low cost model and also the differentiation model, right? And you are now in that loop of saying, oh, what do we now choose? And we ask the question that, guarantees the gridlock, and which naturally the question is usually which choice is the right one. And the question stores a progress because it puts everyone in a fix, and everyone is in that loop of, oh, which one is even clearer to us to make the decision. And everybody is forced to, predict an unknowable future, encourage advocacy and defense, and not objective exploration. And also, it creates internal winners and losers before the real work begins. So you have a lot of people thinking, oh, they make the best bet or they make the best prediction, right? And some people will be on the winning side and some people will be on the losing side. You know how it is when you bet on something, right? So the breakthrough is to reverse the question, which is which choice is the right one. And so for us, for this choice to be the winner, what would have to be true, right? We have to ask ourselves, just taking back to the previous one, asking ourselves what would have to be true. And I mean, this whole chapter talks about the reverse engineering, which is a specific method of making sense of conflict strategy options, right, in a process for making strategic choices with others. So, and this, yeah, it shifts the conversation from being, subjective, whereby people have a lot of say on it, to a one that is more logical, to something that is more logical for people to, make the right decision, right? And so the first step in getting things done when we are in this fix is, one, clearly articulate each potential part, right? At the possibility of winning at the low cost advantage, and also the possibility of winning with the differentiation advantage. There's a quick something I wanted to check on my phone for um, I was trying to see if I can make a reference to the low cost and the differentiation method. Uh, and okay, yeah, yeah, I've seen it. So the low cost advantage, it requires operation efficiency, scaling, tight cost control, right? And why this differentiation advantage is also talking about, things that matters to the brand as well, in terms of are we going to perform better? Are we going to have a strong brand name when we make this decision? And is our innovation strong enough? And do we have superior experiences over other competitors, right? So the key principle is that there's no ambiguity. The choices must be distinct and genuinely different paths forward, right? And so step two for us is that we ask ourselves, for each part, list what would have to be true. So we've talked about the low cost conditions and also the differentiation conditions. You list them in different parts. The market is primarily different, right? The cost structure, competitors as well. And also in the differentiation part, you look at uh, the large segment. These just certain examples, right? A large are we saying that, oh, a large segment will pay like 20% of the premium, or are we saying that our brand can, build a powerful emotional connection, right? or are we saying that our innovation pipeline can deliver a meaningful and visible upgrades? Right. So at this part here, this is where you now blow out what is, what you know that, oh, it's not the strength of the organization, right? You blow it out and focus on what needs to be done. So anything that you are not focus, I mean, anything that, you are not confident about in betting, right? You blow those out and, look at where you can now focus on. So now the team changes the list to and asks themselves which condition represents the biggest leap of faith, where is our data weakest, and you now ask yourself which are the most daunting barriers to overcome. And the clear insight here is that this isn't about finding a perfect path per se. It's about understanding the relative difficulty and the risk of each one, right? Because both parts are not also easy, but which one do you think that you can easily we can easily dive into, and we would also know that yes, we made the right attempt. So clarity emerges right after then. The most viable part is not the one we can improve. It's not the one we can prove will work, right? It is the one where the list of what would have to be true is the shortest, the most believable, and contains the fewest insurmountable barriers. So the team now knows exactly which critical assumptions need, which critical assumptions it needs it to test, right? At this part, there's nobody saying, oh, we are on A part or we are on B part. We are now looking at, yes, this is where we need to focus on. This is where we think that our strength is, right? And so the conversation transformed from a debate into a dialogue, right? We are now saying, okay, what conversation can we now have? And we are not looking at, oh, if you choose this, if you make these decisions, you are on the winning side or you are the losing side. So before, it was like, I think my idea is better than yours. But now the conversation has changed to, let's explore together and see what it will be, right, for the possibility to succeed. And the process just removes the ego and replaces it with collaborative inquiries among each team members, right? And also we can see that the greatest advantage isn't a better choice, it's a committed team. And the reverse engineering also helps the process build shared understanding within each team, deep alignment as well. And you see, when the choice is made, the entire team is invested not just in the decision, but in making the conditions true to ensure that they win, to ensure that it wins rather. And so you don't eliminate risk to shorten your odds, right? You don't eliminate risk. Risk is also part of the business. But what you seek to always do is to look for clarity on the most critical strategic orders, seek alignment. A team that that is unified is always committed, and also committed. Focus, a clear agenda for testing the most valuable assumptions and confidence to make bold choices and invest decisively on it, right? And we look at the engine that drives the 5 strategic choices, which is one, what is our winning aspiration? At this part, we look at the purpose of the enterprise that is guiding our aspiration, and we then move to why will we why will we play, right? I mean, where will we play rather? And this part, asks begs the question of, uh, what's the geography, the product categories, consumer insights, consumer segment channels, vertical stages of production. I think we talked about this, and also how do we then win, right? This is where we now, look at our value proposition and also our competitive advantage. This is just also taking us back to things that we've also learned in the previous chapters. And also we look at what capabilities must be in place, right? We look at this is where we ask the question of where we tick the boxes of our reinforcing activities and our specific configuration. Then lastly, we now look at what management system. This is where we talk about the system structures and measures required to support our choices. So again, strategy is an integrated set of choices, no doubt. Reverse engineering is the collaborative process that allows your team or allows our team to make those choices with clarity and conviction. And it turns this framework into action straight up. And we can see a quote here from A.G. Lafley, saying, I want my team to understand that strategy is disciplined thinking that requires tough choices and is all about winning. A strategy is a way to win and nothing less. A strategy is a way to win and nothing less. So that comes to the final part of chapter 8. Thank you.
Wow, David. And you were looking at us as if you were not prepared for this presentation. Deception is not nice at all. Haba, this presentation, beautiful. I love the tone. So rich. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Conclusion part.
Okay. Um,
Welcome, David. Welcome. You're a one-man gang.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So we're going to the last chapter of the book. I'll share my slide shortly. Okay. All right, so we move to the last chapter of the book, which is, the endless pursuit of winning, right? Okay. So winning again is not a destination, it's a continuous journey, just as strategy too also is an ongoing continuous journey. It is also, strategy is dynamic and is an ongoing process, it's not static, one-time event. And it's not a one-time event. It requires constant attention and adaptation as things begins to evolve. We begin to make changes that are required for the organization. Renewed aspiration also is also part of the whole thing. Organization must also continually renew their winning aspiration and ensure they remain relevant they remain relevant and ambitions in changing environments. Again, relentless focus. So as a business, you need to sustain the success. Success demands a relentless focus on evolving markets, emerging technologies, and also competitive landscape, right? So what are the core idea of, just being ahead of that curve, right? And never stop playing to win. One is to also ensure that you have your sustained advantage. So playing to win means that you are committed to building and maintaining a sustained competitive advantage in your choosing arena, right? In your choosing field where you choose to play, right? You also need to have a sustained advantage and not lose guard. Perpetual vigilance is also very important because complacency is the enemy of progress. Winning requires perpetual vigilance against new threats and opportunities, right? You can't be too comfortable. We've mentioned things like this in previous readings of our books. Evolving aspiration. Winning aspiration must evolve and adapt as market conditions, consumer needs, and competitive dynamics shift, right? These are very, very key. So we look at the strategy as the dynamic choices that to cascade. Revisiting choices. So the five strategic choices, which are the aspiration, where to play, how to win, capabilities, and management system. Those five things must be regularly revisited at all times and be well refined. Interconnected impact. So each of these strategic choices profoundly influence and continually reshapes others. So that's why we need to always go back as an organization, go back to those things and see what we need to improve in them. And thirdly is to also adapt and learn. Flexibility, continuous learning, and iterative adaptation are essential for maintaining strategic relevance and effectiveness. So the role of leadership in all of this that we're talking about is that effective leadership is paramount in driving the continuous pursuit of winning. So leaders must also be, and this is just talking to us as well, that we also be an architect of this mindset, embedding it with the organization culture. So, what are the things that are very crucial for us as readers and leaders here is that we must actively champion the mindset of continuous improvement and strategic renewals. So, those things, those five key elements, we need to always go and look back at it and see what we need to improve and evolve in. Also foster a culture of change. They must cultivate as leaders, we must cultivate an environment that embrace change, encourage innovation, reward adaptive thinking. This is very important. And inspirational examples like AG Leffley leadership at PG's exemplified how strategic reinvention driven by clear vision can sustain growth and market leadership as well. So we need to avoid the trap of playing to lose, right? The book is playing to win. So if you are not playing to win, definitely uh you are doing the opposite. So one is to limit growth. When there's loss, you see that there's a limit in growth. Playing defensively, driven by fear of failure, severally limits growth potentials and make an organization vulnerable to disruption. And also bold choices. True winning requires bold and strategic choices, no doubt, calculated risks and willingness to adventure beyond the comfort zone. These things are very crucial and very critical for the growth of an organization. And also resist incrementalism. So organization must must actively resist the temptation to settle for mere incremental gains, which can make deeper stagnation, right? Don't feel too comfortable, don't feel too relaxed that you are at least making a gain. Someone somewhere is going to cook something, higher than what you might think of, and topple you from the post or the position you have, right? So building and renewing core capabilities requires, dynamic capabilities, which is capabilities that deliver success yesterday might quickly become obsolete. So there need to be continuous development as possible. Customer insights, right? Sustained investment in deep customer insights ensures offering remains relevant and compelling. Also, operational excellence, this is no doubt very important. Relentless of the pursuit of operational excellence, drive efficiency and superior execution. According to PG's revision of OLEs, driven by renewed consumers focus and cutting edge innovation, serves as the prime of their capability renewal as well. And we look at the management system that support ongoing winnings. We look at the measures and correct, which is very important, measure and correct. Robust systems are needed to measure progress accurately and enable rapid course correction. Also, aspiration alignment, organization alignment ensures clear alignment uh, is across all levels of organization is vital for effective strategy execution. Also, learning mechanism, effective feedback loops and continuous learning mechanism keep strategy relevant and also very responsive. So, psychological dimensions to commitment in winning. Growth mindset is very important, resilience, and also purpose driven as well. These things are very important. And in conclusion, we are looking at the ultimate strategy imperative. It says that strategy is not the finish line, it is never ending, it's a cycle of choice, action, and renewal. So, according only organizations that commit wholeheartedly to playing to win will truly thrive amidst uncertainty and secure lasting success. And that is all for the book Playing to Win. Thank you very much.
Boy, I think you should reintroduce yourself, David. I think you should reintroduce yourself. What a feat. You just climbed to another level. I think you should reintroduce yourself. This was really beautifully done. All the slides different, all the slides unique, capturing all the key points. Whoa, in such short, time, you have been able to create a master class. Each of your presentation I can use, for studies, for, a masterclass presentation. I just love it. I am so honored that I'm in the boardroom tonight to see this. I am just blown away. Wonderful. Thank you, David. Thank you so much. You kept it together. You held this particular section all through. And wow, I picked so many things. I didn't get the opportunity to read today, but I'll go back again to YouTube, look at the presentation, look at the slides, and just, you know, soak myself into this masterclass teaching that you've given us this evening. Thank you. Thank you. Very nicely done. Thank you, David.
Thank you
Beautiful.
so much
It's
for the
not just
opportunity.
you're presenting, three chapters, but it's the content, the confidence, the tone, no, this is a masterclass. Please, the floor is open for your contribution and gift giving. I think David deserves $1 um, presentation for this.
Yes, so
Kenneth, over to you.
open to collecting dollars.
You really deserve it. Kenneth, over to you. Hello, Engineer Ken, are you there? If you are not there, let's go to Nancy. Nancy, over to you. Hello, Nancy. Can you hear me? Dr. Murayo. Everybody has
Yeah,
sent
like I
their,
said,
yeah. Please, go ahead, Nancy.
yeah, like I said, it's such an awesome meal. The meal is well packaged and everything is a balanced diet. Well done, David. I was unable to go through the book, but just from your slides and everything, I think am happy I joined the last day of this book. Sadly, I think it was just the meal was overdose for us for a while, as in it was because this is a masterclass, like Princess said, and it was
I guess our network has gone again.
screenshots of some of the things.
Don't take screenshot, Nancy. Just go to YouTube. It's there on YouTube. Most of the people don't know that
Yes.
we've been releasing our material content on YouTube. It's there on YouTube. It's
Yeah,
just
I saw it
awesome.
was being live
Just
streamed.
awesome.
You understand? So,
Yeah.
but we have to screenshot some of these so that we can know where to target, because it was actually striking. The how to play.
Nancy, you're
Uh,
going off.
okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes, I
can.
can hear you.
So one of I said yes, we do some of the screenshots because don't want to forget some highlights, so that when we go back we'll know what we are looking at from. So one of
Hmm.
what
Mm.
you were on one of your slides, when you were talking about the how to win, I think what you just did here is showing us that there's a how to win. You understand? You can win in style and you can just win strongly. But
Hmm.
um, today's lesson is telling us that we should also know there's a how to win, and that strikes a chord. The manner at which you go about the winning matters a lot.
Hmm.
I'm just getting
Yes.
to know. So it's not just winning; it's the attitude and the everything that comes with the winning. It was emphasized. And then I like to. I think I should this night. I still will go back to some of what you, especially the five choices. I discovered that the especially your second to the last chapter talking about the reverse engineering. It was
Yes.
so educative, how we
Yes.
are able to dispel even other people's opinion without proving, or to the team without proving that no, my own is working, your own is. So
Mm.
it said it's not about what's working or what has been proven to work.
Mm-hmm.
It is the trying to find the ones with lesser barriers, and then in fact, so there is like I said, it's an awesome meal, and thank God, thank you for putting it up together in well summarized manner that we're able to pick one or
Mm.
two things from me. Well done again for your slides. Your slides are beautiful, and thank you
Thank
for
you.
what you put into this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Lovely flowers there. Beautiful words being said by Nancy. Nancy, thank you very much. The slides are really beautiful. It's an awesome meal, like you said, and I think I'm going to steal that. I'm going to steal that caption, David. Next time you hear me speak, I'm going to say, "It's an awesome meal from Nancy." In the voice of Nancy, it's an awesome meal. Engineer Ken,
Yeah, my princess. David has done, he has done more than Napoleon could have done.
I tire. I tire for David.
Wallahi. A round of applause for you, David. In fact, when you come to Abuja, we will retaliate.
David, did you
So
hear
David did
that?
well.
There's an invitation
Well
for you to come to Abuja.
Don't worry, I would come.
Good. Dr. Morayo,
I think everybody has said what I want to say. Oh.
no, you can say your own. Oh. It's an awesome meal. Did they tell you
Yes,
that?
so yes, so I'm still trying to
Did you
digest
ever
it.
use this an awesome meal before? I know. You say it can't be what you wanted to say. Say your
Yeah,
own.
it
Oh.
was it was
Say
a
your own
nice
to David so that
it
he
was
can
a
do more.
nice it was an awesome, nice presentation. I really enjoyed it. I need to go back because a lot of jams are packed that I've not really um
I agree.
thanking well. So I need to actually go back to that presentation and reread the book. Thank you so much, David. It's a lovely presentation.
It is. It is. And thank you very
Welcome,
much,
ma'am.
David, for the technical skills. We've done this one nicely. I think for all the 4 days we have it recorded is on YouTube. So please join us on YouTube anytime. The content is going to be there live, and you can just soak yourself on some of this illuminating information that has been shared from our discussion and conversation all through the 4 days. If you don't know anything about business readers, this is a clubhouse where we come to read books and in a specific genre. So we read business books only. And during our time out, of course, we can, soak ourselves up with other self-help books. But our priority is to focus on business book because the majority of us are entrepreneurs or those striving to pull out from their regular 9 to 5 into the entrepreneurial sphere. So we are inviting you, join us. We're all professionals from across the world, people joining us from Canada, some from the UK, and some of us from Abuja, and of course, likewise, the others from Dubai, Asia. So it's really beautiful when we come together to, you know, think aloud, share our thoughts, and also to learn. This is our boot camp, and we do this every time when we're in section. We just finished a book now, Playing to Win, and it's been awesome. We are going to move into our next book, The Cross, and I'm looking forward to that also. If you want to get our collection of books for the year, please go to our website, www.businessreadersglobal.com. You find all our collection for the year. We have about 12 books that we've selected that we are going to be reading serially for the course of the year. Thank you very much for joining. It's 10:13 my time, and in Nigeria it's 7:13, and of course I think in UK it's around 1 p.m. thereabout, and We don't have anyone joining us from the UK. We're sharing the same time lines right now with those of us in the UK. It's been a pleasure, and I'm happy to say we just concluded our Facebook for the year. If you have not been following or reading this book, please visit us on the YouTube or pick up the book and read for yourself, or you join us in our boot camp. We have our boardroom on and offline. Thank you. It's been an awesome evening, David. I think we can flag this off and shut down for the day. We'll go for another 1 week break or 2 weeks. Today is what?
Today is 8.
Today is 8. Let's do 2 weeks break and then we resume. So we can do 2 weeks break in between because that means in a month we can finish 2 books with this strategy, right?
Yes,
Or
ma'am.
do we shift from, I think I just like the fact that we, compress a book to be 1 week so
Yes.
that those who want to read other stuff and who have other engagement can
Because the
also
coming
follow
book
through.
has quite a lot of chapters and it's going to require us possibly 2 weeks or
two
3.
weeks. Okay, so if we're resuming in 2 weeks, that means we're going to be resuming around, I was thinking we resume around the 26th and then we finish early February, first week of February. Is that okay?
No,
Because we
it will have to be second week February most likely because the book is actually quite detailed in terms of chapters and parts, parts and parts.
really,
Yes,
okay. All
most
right.
likely
Okay.
second week of February.
Most likely second week because the Ramadan starts on the 18th. That's why I'm saying, and we're not likely to read after that. I think we're going to go on break. That's what we're trying to finish at least our books, 3 books for this first quarter,
Okay, so
right?
yeah,
Yeah, because the Ramadan starts on the 18th and ends around the 20th. And of course, that's another 2 days, 3 holiday. And then we kick off the last week of March. We'll finish another book, and that's 3 books for the month, for the 3 months,
yes,
which is in time, is I think fits to our schedule. Because this time around, I want us to really finish our books early so that we can do some other activities.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. All right, good. Thank you very much. For those of us in the boardroom, it's been wonderful. I don't know how you feel about this book, but please pick up the book and just glance through it. There are some major, major, major nuggets in this book, and once you get the grasp of it, then you know how to plan. The 5 question is very key. Is the book is centered on those 5 questions.